today's guest is very special. Why? Because here we are a lady, a girl, and a very enthusiastic, person of my life, Miss Neha Jain. She had been called Miss Dictionary in her college life. How are you feeling, ma'am?
Right now I'm on cloud nine.
The purpose of this podcast is only to make audience to learn English. I ask you, who is Neha? Please describe yourself.
So I'll describe myself in a nutshell.
Tell me one thing, that how English speaking changed your life.
First thing, I'm privileged always. Like, people give a lot of importance.
What challenges did you face while learning English?
Challenges are always there for the Hindi speaking people like us,
How much English plays a role in today's time? Practice makes a man perfect. 𝗕𝗏𝗃 की किसी चपरासी की बुक में लिखा हुआ था.
Just started like this. 12 के 12, 12 दूनी 24, 12 36, 12 48, and the whole class was just laughing at me. You have a good vocab. You speak automatically good,
Into you, how to improve English? Very common. Would you like to share with the students that how they can improve their pronunciation? हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू मास स्टडी. दोस्तों, स्वागत है आप सभी का इन माय न्यू पॉडकास्ट दैट इज इंग्लिश विद कमलेश. एंड टुडे आई हैव वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट. दोस्तों, today's guest is very special. Why? Because here we are a lady, a girl, and a very enthusiastic, person of my life, Miss Neha Jain. She studied in Hindi medium in schooling time. She traveled from metro to village. And if I tell you one thing which is very exciting for me is that she had been called Miss Dictionary in her college life. So I have a lot of things to tell you guys in this podcast which is of English. Apart from this, what we are going to discuss in today's session is that how she learnt English and how English changed her life, and being a homemaker, how she manages her professional life. So if you are a girl or if you are a lady, if you are struggling at your home and in your professional life, here we are for everything and answer your all questions. So hi ma'am, welcome back, and I'm very happy to have you here. So first of all, thank you so much for coming here. How are you feeling, ma'am?
Right now I'm on cloud nine as I'm meeting an old friend, and it really gives a good vibe, Two oldies meet together, two old friends meet together, and it's a good vibe. I'm happy to be here, and I really hope that this conversation of ours help our bachas, your mass study helps bachas to keep growing, to keep learning, and to keep glowing.
That's great, Neha. Actually, the purpose of this podcast is only to make audience to learn English. Apart from this, I also want that students will get a lot of experience in today's podcast, because you have a lot of things to discuss. So before I start, everybody wants to know that who is Neha. So if I ask you who is Neha, please describe yourself.
So I'll describe myself in a nutshell. I'm Neha Jain, and I am a government school teacher. I teach higher classes, and and this is it right now. But I have a lot to share. We'll proceed in the podcast.
That's great. That's great. So guys, as she has a lot of things to discuss here, and definitely we are going to discover Neha Jain. But before that, Neha, tell me one thing, that how English speaking changed your life.
First thing, I'm privileged always. Like, people give a lot of importance, as I am good looking as well, and I speak English fluently, so it gives an impression, it leaves an impression on their heart and their mind. So it helps me in every field. Even I get good bargain,
Okay.
Whenever I'm purchasing things online or some trip or something, so I get good bargain.
Means you trap the people by using beautiful words of English. Am I right?
You can say that.
Exactly. Obviously, Neha, like if someone speaks English in India especially, he is always honored. He is respected.
Right.
Why? Because English is a rare language in India. Even though there are many people who are speaking English, but still there is a lack of English speakers, and that's why when there is a lack, there is a more demand.
Especially in our areas, in small towns, villages, people are still thriving to learn this language.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, one thing I would like to add that Neha has briefed herself, but Neha has a lot of things to share. Like she is right now a government teacher, and we hardly see such a great government teachers in government schools. Why? Because when we go to the government school, there is a different image. But especially in Madhya Pradesh now, great teachers, knowledgeable teachers have started coming.
Yeah.
So it's like a uday hoga. So uday ho raha hai. She worked in many schools also, and maybe in companies or not.
No,
Not
just
in corporate.
internship.
Acha, you had
Yeah.
just internship. Let's begin with the struggles you had. So, Miss Neha, please tell me like what challenges did you face while learning English?
Challenges are always there for the Hindi speaking people like us, and since my schooling was all throughout in Hindi medium, I opted English language in my college days, and this is where I struggled with English. Otherwise, my mom was very much adamant about it that I should speak English like patar patar patar. I should speak in English like that.
Okay.
And I should be thorough with the language. So I think it was her resilience that made me to learn this.
Okay, that's great. So, like if I talk about myself, I came from a village. I studied in a Hindi medium school as you did.
Right.
Everybody has the same story.
Yeah.
But like Neha, when people look at us, then like if I look at you, I could not believe that you belonged to Hindi medium in your childhood.
Right.
But today when you speak, you like you make environment, you make mahol. Why? Because you worked hard. And guys, it is all about practice. She wanted to become a perfect speaker. She might have improved a lot, because a girl who studies in a Hindi medium school, how can she become so perfect in English? But she did. So she will share everything. One thing I want to know from you, that how English is important, how much English is important in 21st century, because nowadays everything is growing. Like if we talk about India, India is a developing country, but soon it will be developed country. Everybody who is sitting in the village is trying to do his business from foreign. So how much English plays role in today's time?
The way oxygen is required for you to live a life,
Okay.
the same way English is required. It's a basic requirement to have a good life, to have a respectable life, and it is important to have proficiency in this language, because whenever it's not that you want to have a conversation with some Firangi person, right? But even in your country, people are speaking language, and the culture is about English, so you have to speak English.
I also feel like everybody knows my story, because I have given a lot of speeches, especially on Joe's talks. Like if someone asks me how English changed your life, or why English is important in today's time, because just before 7 to 8 years when I completed my graduation, I had good marks in my graduation, and I had a lot of dreams, because I come from a commerce background. When I presented my degree in front of the people, especially in front of the companies, and they rejected me. Why? Because they asked me one question: introduce yourself, tell us something about your career, but in English. So English was biggest hurdle for me,
Right.
and I was rejected more than 100 times. I did not get a single job because I was not able to speak English. But when I realized that if you have a talent, you should have a language to express,
Right.
and corporate world only understands English language. If you want to work
That's
in
right.
Infosys or TCS or any great
all
company.
the companies, even in like Indore, Bhopal, the areas which are around us and which are becoming now metropolitan cities, so even in there you need English language to express yourself and to stand out in a crowd. You need language.
Exactly.
You need English.
Exactly. So that's why I learned English, and today where am I? Because of English. And the same, like you also adopted English language very soon.
Right.
And we'll talk about your college life also, your personal life also. But before that, I just want to tell you one thing, that it's not easy to come here. So I would talk about your childhood, like how your childhood was, like how was your childhood, what the things you used to do, and where you spent your childhood, if you share.
Okay, I used to live in a small town called Ashta, and my mother was very clear about this, that her both the bachas should English fluently, Why? Because all my cousins, they live in metros, they speak fluent language since the very beginning. So my mother also wanted that my bacha should not feel inferior, or they should not feel left out.
Okay.
So but the environment needs, you need environment to speak fluently, which was not there in a small town like Ashta. So, but yeah, even in that time, my mother made us to learn English, and she provided us expensive tuitions to learn English. But ultimately, what I have realized, that it comes through practice. You have to feel yourself that you want to speak this language, then only you'll be able to do it. Otherwise,
it's not easy.
Yeah.
Definitely practice makes a man perfect. 𝗙𝗏 की किसी चपरासी की book में लिखा हुआ था. So we do practice, and we also make them practice in our live classes. Apart from this, it's like Neha, English speakers always fascinate us.
Yeah.
So
that is there. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Tharoor.
Exactly. Would you like to name such great personalities to whom you like to listen?
Okay, I like to listen 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Tharoor, but for which I really need to refer dictionary all the time, because he really used such elaborated words.
Okay.
And otherwise, I like to read. I read a lot. I read Amish Tripathi.
Okay.
And I've read his trilogy of Ram and Shiva trilogy. I've read his Ram series, Ram,
Okay.
Sita, Ravan, and then.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
lot
So
of
you still now, you also listen nowadays also, like whenever you need to listen. So you listen in English?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I prefer listening in English, because then it polishes my language. It gives me a sharp.
Okay. So
Edge.
the same question comes that there are many students why we should listen, because there are many students who are beginner and they want to improve their language. So how much listening plays role to learn English?
It has a great impact. First thing it happens when you listen, the words stays in your subconscious mind. You don't realize that you are learning, but you learn when you listen. When you listen, it stays in the backup of your mind, and then you gradually start using the words. This is how it happens. And you learn different pronunciation, accent, expressions. So yeah, listening plays a great role, important role.
You
It's
mean
pivotal.
listening is directly connected to pronunciation?
Of course, it is.
Means
Yes.
what we listen, we pronounce.
Yes, that is there.
Exactly, like a newborn baby. So when he comes into this world, so people surrounded by him, or her, tells the baby, this is your father. Like baby doesn't know.
Right.
He realizes, yeah, this is my father, because everybody is telling he is my father. So
And when you listen, you imbibe it more quickly than anywhere else, or by any other means. You learn more when you listen.
So, Neha, your childhood was very interesting, and I really enjoyed hearing about this. And I really salute your mother, because she really wanted to make you people better, and every mother does.
Yeah, every mother does.
But your mother that time, like your mother was aware that time.
Yeah.
Before 10 years, it was not easy, because nowadays mothers do everything, but before many years,
She
it was
had
not.
this awareness
Yeah,
about language, that this language is going to boom in coming time, and she had this
That's
thing.
great. Guys, before I go ahead, I would like to tell you, Neha is the girl, like she studied in a Hindi medium school, number one. Okay. Sometimes we blame कि we belong to Hindi medium, हम तो कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे. But she studied, and today, if someone meets her, nobody can judge you, Neha, that you came from this much humble background. So
Right.
that's great that you have transformed yourself, and this is what the change I want to bring in your, like you have to bring in your life, guys. How you can bring, if you watch this podcast till end, you will really understand कि आप कैसे you will gradually change yourself. दूसरा important point which I want to discuss, that you studied in Hindi medium school, but you changed yourself in the college.
Yeah.
So college was the turning point of your life.
Right.
So let's talk about your
Absolutely.
college life. That how was your college life, and what do you remember when someone talks about college?
Right. So I would like to share a incident. It was like initial days I joined the college, and it was accounts class, as I also come from commerce background. So it was accounts class, and the first day professor came and asked that how many tables you know, like tell how many tables you know. So all the students were raising hands, some were saying 15, 12. I also raised my hand and I was like, yeah, I know the tables by till 15. So he just made me to stand and said that you tell me 12th table. So I was like, I just started like this, 12 × 12, 12 × 2 = 24, 13 × 36, 12 × 48, and the whole class was just laughing at me like anything, because all my fellow students were from KV, from CBSE background. They all were like from English schools, and yeah, but the class was laughing, but I really didn't care, because I knew that this is how I have learned it, so this is how I will express it. But yeah, that time I realized one thing, that I need to work upon my language, I need to polish, and I need to learn this English, and I need to speak like them.
Okay, means that this was a, like, if someone would be there in place of you, like he might have or she might have felt very bad.
Yeah,
might have.
It was actually a very embarrassing situation, you know, like the whole class is laughing at you and you're just standing without even realizing that what has happened.
Exactly, means you didn't know.
Yeah.
That why they are laughing at
No,
you.
not
Because
at
for
all.
them 𝗁𝗃𝗲 is like someone has come from the jungles.
Yes.
Or 𝗁𝗃𝗲 is really, I also have gone through the same thing, guys, but it happened, but she changed herself. That's great. I also heard that you were called Miss Dictionary.
Yeah.
What was the incident?
I used to live in a hostel, and my roommate, you know, she was really good with her language, and she had proficiency with Hindi as well as in English. So she told me that it's okay, no worry, no fear, just keep learning. And I also had a tendency that whenever I referred a book, whenever I read a book, whatever words, in one sentence I will have 10 spellings which I had no idea about. But I used to write down those words, their meanings, and I used to paste them on the walls of my room, and I used to write them, make small chits and carry them with me so that I keep mugging them up. And that is how I got to learn a lot of words. And when you have a good vocab, you speak automatically good, you know. So that is how I developed my vocab, and gradually by the end of the 3rd year of my graduation, if there is any word people don't know in my hostel, they'll not even refer a dictionary. They'll just come directly to me and they'll ask me what is the meaning of this word, and I will know eventually the meaning of the word. So that is when my friends and my seniors, they started calling me Miss Dictionary.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear this. Guys, you see that how she transformed herself. In the beginning, everybody has to go through the same road, but she practiced, she tried all the ways, like what she did everything, like framing the words, mugging up, writing in the hand, or writing on the palm, or writing on the wall. So whatever she did, but finally, I think it was in the final year, people started coming to you. That's great. And everywhere, if you go in any college or in any community, there is someone who always been like कि मैं जानता हूँ मेरे बराबर कोई नहीं जानता है. And it is, I can understand that एक वो प्राइज है जो आप डिजर्व करते हो, जो आपकी मेहनत है, जो हार्डवर्क आपने लगाया, उसके बाद लोग आप तक आते हैं, आपको अप्रिशिएट करते हैं.
They start recognizing you.
Exactly.
They started counting on you.
Exactly.
When you are nobody, you become something.
Exactly.
It gives a feeling.
Means people notice you.
Yeah.
And this is what I tell you always, that if you speak English, people notice you. If there is a program, everybody is talking in Hindi, and you go on the stage and you start speaking English, people start noticing you.
Yeah.
And this is what English brings in your life. And this is actually we want to be respected, we want to be appreciated. So English will give you guys. So Ms. Neha, you are also a homemaker.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility. In my live sessions, especially when I teach on YouTube at 7 to 8, so there are many ladies who watch my live session and trying to learn English, and they have only one common question: sir, you don't know how much responsibilities we have. It's not easy to be a lady. It's not easy to be a mother. I try to understand because I only can try. I am not a mother. So
Yeah.
that's why I can understand, I can't feel the pain that they are going through. But you are also homemaker and you're also working professional. So how do you manage both the things? Do you face problems like them or you manage? How do you handle?
I won't lie about it. Yeah, it's a bit juggling. Like I have to juggle between my personal life, professional life, but by the end of it, when the salary comes in your account, it all worth it.
Okay, okay. That's great. But I just want to know that, you have a school timing from 10 to 5. You have to wake up early morning and...
Yeah, I wake up at 4.
Okay.
At times I wake up at 5. 5:30 is my last limit. I have to finish all my chores, household chores, and I have to look after my, I have 2 kids, so I have to look after them, their studies, their well-being, and plus I have to pack my dabbas, tiffins for all of us, and we carry the tiffins and that's it, we shoot for the school, we just leave for the school. And I love teaching, I love teaching this language. Even in school, I don't tell my students to speak in Hindi or Nimadi. I always prefer that I don't need to degrade myself. I have to up their
That's great.
level, So I always try and thrive to bring their level up. And I make sure that they try to communicate at least in English.
I also remember one thing, like I am also a government teacher.
Yeah.
So we come from a same background. So
Right.
when I went to the school and which kind of people come into the government school, especially the people who are poor and they can't afford
Yeah,
the good schools.
I know.
So when I went there, I started speaking English. So some teachers started talking about me that ये 2-4 महीने अंग्रेजी बोलेगा, फिर बच्चे ना इसको आदिवासी सिखा देंगे और 4 महीने बाद कमलेश will be found speaking आदिवासी. And I thought, yeah, it should not be a joke. I can't be a joke for the people. So I decided one thing, because I am very kind of motivational person. एक बार सोच लिया तो करना है. So I decided कि let's see who wins, your talk or my determination. I decided to make them speak English, and just in 2 to 3 years, now in my government school, there are many students who speak English. So now they realize
That's commendable.
हाँ,
That's commendable.
कि उनको मैंने सही साबित नहीं होने दिया. Like you told कि you had 2 choices. आप उनके हिसाब से ढल जाओ,
Or you bring their level up.
या you bring their level up. और आपने उन बच्चों को बोला कि नहीं, मैं तो अपना लेवल चेंज नहीं करूँगी, आप ट्राई करो ऊपर आने की. And this is what we have to do, guys.
This is how an individual evolves, Even I tell to my kids that you have to keep evolving yourself. You have to keep growing, and for growing, you have to learn, read, and listen. Do stuff. Try to do it. Just don't give up. That's the
Exactly.
mantra.
Neha, you were in metro, and as you were in metro, the life of metro is always pleasurable, attractive,
Yeah.
enjoyable. But after some time, you directly came to village. So how much it was difficult for you to adopt the village culture?
This was more like a shock to me. But yeah, like I got married, and me and my husband, our horoscope matched so badly that I ended up here in 𝗕𝗏𝗃. And but life there in Pune and then life here was like huge difference was there. It was really different, difficult. For some time I was Alice in the Wonderland, but husband has been really supportive, cooperative, progressive. Though he has lived in a village, but he has always been very progressive from here. He never stopped me doing anything. Or I loved watching English movies, so he joined me. So it was fun. Otherwise,
So sometimes it would be very difficult, Neha, like you would be watching movie in English, like English movies you
Yeah,
would
I
be
love
watching,
watching, yeah.
and he might be feeling difficulties because he comes from a
so
village.
we always had a midway subtitle.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's
It
great.
worked.
So finally you adjusted yourself in the village life.
Yeah.
And this is what life is all about, that we have to change.
Accept.
We have to accept.
Either you change or you accept. That's the only way to be
Exactly.
happy. You can't crib all the time. You can't be like fuzzy about everything. Why this happened? Why me? No, you can't do this. You have to accept. You have to live it. It's a gift.
Okay, that's great. So now we are coming towards the end of the podcast. So I have some couple of questions which really they want actually.
Okay.
So the first question is, according to you, how to improve English? Very common question. If someone wants to learn English.
See, I'll tell you an easy way.
Okay.
The most easy way, watch Hollywood movies, right?
Okay.
But don't watch dubbing ones,
Okay.
right? Not in Hindi. But yeah, watch Hollywood movies, read a lot. And I don't mean by reading that you read only motivational book, inspirational books. Just read any damn thing you love to read about. If you love to read about film industry, film stars, read that, but in English.
Okay. So according to you, watching Hollywood movies helps someone a lot to learn English.
Yes.
One factor that we have noticed throughout the interview is that you are good at pronunciation. Your pronunciation is amazing. What tips would you like to share with the students that how they can improve their pronunciation?
You have to put conscient effort to this. Like, I will give you one example. Like, I was watching a Titanic movie, a very famous romantic movie, Titanic, and the accent and the pronunciation, it really changes from Indian to American to British. It really does change. And I was watching that movie, and like HERE, we just call it here, come here, go there, right? But in that movie, there is a scene when Jack is at the downside of the deck, at the deck part of the ship. And Rose come to save him here, and he's handcuffed there with the rope, and Rose come as a savior, and she's calling his name like, Jack, where are you? Jack, Jack. And here Jack, who is handcuffed there, he's shouting back, Rose, I'm here. Rose, I'm here. So this here and here was like a jolt to me.
Okay.
But yeah, listening, So the crux of the point is that listen carefully, watchfully, be cautious when you listen.
That's great. Means listening plays vital role to
and don't shy away from speaking.
Okay.
People laugh, let them laugh. Who cares? It's their fun.
Exactly. People also laughed at you in the college.
Yes.
But today they might be watching your podcast and they will amazing. They must be wishing life you are living, because everybody wants to be a government servant. You are a government servant.
Yes.
And she is an English teacher, not other subjects. So the subjects which you were weak at, now you are teaching. This is what the life is, and this is what you call spirit.
Determination.
हाँ, जिस चीज़ में हम बहुत कमजोर थे, जिस चीज़ के लिए लोग हमें हंसते थे कि इंग्लिश नहीं आती, लोग हंसते थे, आज आप अच्छे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में एग्जाम क्वालिफाई करके इंग्लिश पढ़ा रही हैं, आज आप अच्छी इंग्लिश बोलती हैं.
People like us have the gut.
Exactly.
The gut to go through it, to sail through it.
Definitely. So guys, finally we are moving towards end.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's been a nice talk. I have a lot of questions to ask still to you, but we are running out of time. It was very nice meeting, guys. Here is the Neha, and I hope this podcast must have helped you to learn something, how a lady manages her home and manages her professional life, how jolly is she, and she is very happy. She is very kind of like she looks the life in a different way. She lives in the village still, but she has a different way to enjoy the life. She came from metro, but she adjusted herself in village with no regret, and this is what makes you a happy person. So it's been nice, Neha. Thank you so much for being with us. Guys, did you like what the things did you like in her? Please put in the comment. And if you are a lady or a girl or anybody, if you can take inspiration from her, you can make your life better. My podcast will not only teach you English, will not help you to improve your English, but this will help you to how to become a good human being, how to become a good person to enjoy life. Thank you so much,
And
Neha.
guys, be audacious, make mistakes, don't shy away, feel free, be flamboyant, achieve your dreams, follow master study, and yeah, we'll see you to do. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, guys. Please share this podcast with your friends and your family, and especially for please share this podcast with those ladies and those girls who feel that they are facing struggles, or they have some struggle because people are not allowing them to move on. But Neha is herself an example that how you can live a better life, how you can struggle and achieve your goals. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe and share, and just wait for the next video.